Hello everybody, how is everyone doing? This is a really important video, so pay attention. Especially for you intermediate learners, pay attention to this because this is going to really solidify some things or clarify some things that we're going to talk about. All right. This video I am making because it's come to my attention that, there are also confusions with not just the imperatives, but within the object focus and the circumstantial focus with the endings of on and an. They are very similar, yet there is an action that is different. And again, you need to consider the focus. So the first part of this video was knowing the focus, right? Consider the focus. But we're not talking about the imperative, so this is a little different. It's similar, but different, okay? And let's review. Remember, if you've forgotten this, you need to go back and watch in the what the focus is and the type of the focuses are. With the object focus, the verb endings will have on or hon depending on the stress. I don't need to go over that. And written in red, again, it's the non-focus is going to be the focus or the attention, right? So whatever our focus or the attention or whatever we're talking about, whatever in the sentence that is getting the attention or the focus is going to be a non-focus. Keep that in mind. Versus with the circumstantial focus, right? Think of it, okay, well, first of all, it's going to be with the endings of an or han, depending on the stress of the last verb. And here it is, the transference of the action, right? Something has to do with benefiting or location or transference, okay? Just think of that, the whole transference of benefiting and location of the verb to somewhere, okay? And written in green, okay, written in green, well, no, going back before I go to the green. So just to review, non-focus is our focus. The non-focus is our attention. It's what we're paying attention to, the non-focus, right? An object, right? That's what we're paying attention. That's what the focus will be, is an object of something, right? Or a non-focus, whatever. Versus here, the transference of the action, right? The location, the benefit, the transference of the action is what our focus is going to be, okay? Anyway, written in green, moving on. They both conjugate verbs in the non-focus, okay, in the actual non-focus. So think ergative. Think of the ergative, the og and the sa family of markers. Think of that, okay? The ergatives. So when you're conjugating, just think of all those words that belong to the og and the sa family of markers. Below, I've written 6 sentences in 3 different cases. Well, yeah, 3 example sentences in both of the cases, or whatever you want to call it, right? This first sentence, okay, here is where things can be delineated. So I need you to really pay attention. All right. The first sentence reads, Pritohon niya ang turon. By the way, turon is, if you don't know what turon is, it's actually like a banana or some sort of plantain or banana or some sort of small señorita banana, something like that, right? And it's wrapped in a lumpia wrapper and then it's caramelized and fried, right? It's really delicious. It's a local food. You can find it in the local street foods all over the Philippines. Really good, really delicious, and it's a good snack. Turon, okay? And don't get this confused with the turrones de casoy or in Pampanga, they have what's called turrones de casoy or turrones de casoy. Yeah, those are made out of cashew peanuts that are rolled in some really weird thing, but it's something different, right? Anyway, so pritohon niya ang turon. Yeah, pritohon niya ang turon. Pay attention to this, right? Prito means to fry, and we conjugate it with the hon ending, right? But I underlined both hon and niya because niya is written is the ergative case or ergative pronoun case, right? For he, she, it. The he, she, it, third person singular ergative case. And it corresponds with our hon here. That's why I wrote them both linking together. Okay, that makes sense. But why is ang turon written in red? Well, I wrote it in red because ang turon is what we're giving our focus to, right? The object now, this Turon is our object. This is what's getting the spotlight. This is what's saying, hey, we're talking about turon. We're talking about this object. What was being done with this object? Oh yeah, well someone was just frying it. Okay, whatever. We're still talking about this though. I don't really care much about this person frying it, but this guy right here, the turon, gets attention. All right, cool. You're frying turon. All right, cool. I'll eat it. I'll eat it later. Boom. Okay, so that's what I kind of mean by, even though it's conjugated in the non-focus via ergative, our object gets the main attention. Hence, it is marked with ang. Okay, ang is marking that. And remember what ang is, right? It's our focal marker. Down here is a similar sentence to the first sentence. Prituhan nako ang dakong kalaha, right? And right here, I'm gonna explain here again. Kalaha is the word meaning frying pan, like a flat bottom, like it's a pan with a flat bottom that you can fry things in, right? And in parentheses up there, I put kaha because in the standard Cebuano dialect, kalaha is the word, but in most Cebuano dialects, kaha is what's used. Actually, kaha is the word in my dialect. I don't really use kalaha, but you will need to know kalaha as a standard word. And I think in Cebu City, in Cebu and Bohol, I think they also say kaha as well as in Leyte. But again, dialectal difference. I'm putting in the standard Cebuano word, kalaha, versus the dialect, the regional ones, which the one I use kaha, right? But no kalaha, okay? Again, so let's demystify this. Pritohan nako ang dakong kalaha. The dakong kalaha, okay? Ang dakong kalaha is a big frying pan. All right? But what happened here? Well, let's look at this first. Pritohan nako in black, right? An and nako are both underlined and linked. Okay, that makes sense because again, both conjugate verbs in the non-focus, i.e. ergative. So even though han is in the circumstantial, it's still considered to conjugate for ergative. And our pronoun here is the first person singular in the ergative case, nako, me or I. And it corresponds with our verb conjugation, right? So it makes sense. Second, after the black, we'll move on to the red. Okay, ang dakong kalaha. Okay, now we have an object here. Ang dakong kalaha. All right, what's being done to this object? Well, since the circumstantial focus is also is a part of the non-focus, this object is going to get the main attention. Just how the object focus does that with the objects, because both focuses are in the non-focus, right? Ang dakong kalaha. Ugh, can't speak today. Anyway, ang dakong kalaha. So what's going on here? Well, even though it's marked in red and we know that to be a non-focus, the main focus versus the non-focus, it's something's being done to it, because this an, since it's in the circumstantial, this an is telling not just to conjugate in the ergative, but also to do something with an object. Remember, transference of the action. There's a benefit. There's some sort of location, or there's some sort of transference going on here because of that peculiar an. And I circled it in green, and I underlined this in green because there is a relationship with both of those. Just how there's a relationship between the black, within the black, and then within the red. Okay, so I put different colors for you to see. Right, the first relationship we saw was with the an and the nako. The second relationship was the red, which is just the object itself. And then the third relationship here is in the green. Okay, well, an doesn't just relate with nako. It also does something with the object. This verb is doing something with the object. And what was that? Oh, it's the transference of an action. Okay, or the movement of a location or a benefit of an action to something, to somewhere, to an object. So this object was underlined in green because this an is telling us that, oh, there is a transference or a benefiting being done to this object here, to the big frying pan. And what's happening to the big frying pan? It's the transference is that it's being cooked, right? It's being cooked in, right? It's being cooked on. Something is being cooked on this frying pan, right? So it's going to that big frying. It's going on. It's going for. It's going with. You see, all these prepositions now are doing something with this frying pan as our object. So those prepositions are kind of the transference, so to speak, to this object, right? That's what our an is also telling us. The second part or second example here. Lutuon ni sal ang siakoy. For those who don't know, siakoy is a type of Filipino donut. It's like this twisted kind of it's a twisted kind of dough that's made out of like a rice, kind of glutinous rice powder or something like that, right? It's really good and it's deep fried. It's kind of like a churro. It's so good though, siakoy. It's just really good, and but if you see it, it's gonna be twisted, whatever, right? It's a type of donut, and it's very popular among the Visayas region. I've never had it. I've had some variations of it, but it's really good. Anyway, lutuon ni sal ang siakoy. So this on, right? This on is telling us, okay, we conjugate it in the object focus. We're still in the object focus. Well, are we conjugated with the in the non-focus? Yes, we are. Ni. That ni is a part of the was it the og or the og family of markers, this ni. And the og family of markers is a type of non-focus, right? So yeah, it makes sense. We can do this. Boom. Lutoon ni sal ang siakoy. So sal will cook the siakoy. All right, and siakoy is in red, not because the black here was our non-focus. Now our focus is in red, ang, because ang marked the object here, siakoy. So the siakoy is now getting the attention. All right. Here we have lutuan ni sal ang kalaha. Okay, so similar to the previous sentence, right? An, now lutuan, it's no longer lutuon, it's lutuan, right? So we conjugate this now with an, and an is a circumstantial focus. So we conjugate this in the circumstantial. Okay, well, does the preceding person or pronoun, yeah, does the preceding pronoun take the non-focus or the focus? Well, it's in the non-focus, right? Because again, we have ni, and it's an ergative, right? It's an ergative, so it corresponds and it correlates and it agrees. So yes, this is correct. We can do this. Lutuan ni, whoever, in this case it's sal, lutuan ni sal ang kalaha. Okay, so we explained what's in the black. What about in the red? Well, the red is now written for ang kalaha, and ang kalaha is our object that's taking the main role, the main focus. Okay, but now this time, since it's in the circumstantial, something's being done to this object. There's a transference. There's some sort of action going on here. Oh, I see. That's why an is now circled in green, and ang kalaha is underlined because something is going on here. Now here I wrote down sa kalaha. Think of it that way, okay? Something is going on to this frying pan, to the kalaha. So something is going to this kalaha. Sa kalaha. Unsay nahitabo sa kalaha. What's going on? Right? Unsay nahitabo sa kalaha. What's going on to the kalaha, right? That's why I put sa, because that sa indicates like some sort of preposition, some sort of transferring, right? Going to the object, right? Sa. You want to think of that sa as a preposition going to the object. All right, so what's going on to the object? Oh, something's being cooked in it, right? So that kalaha is receiving something. It's being cooked on. It's being done on. It's being dealt with. Boom. So I hope that you can see that. And finally, this is probably going to make more, the last one is probably going to make more sense. It's a long sentence, so bear with me and in my short little camera. Paliton ni Marco ang mga pagkaon para sa iyang mga anak. Okay, let's zoom out. Maybe that may help. Okay, so paliton ni Marco ang mga pagkaon para sa iyang anak, or iyang mga anak, sorry. All right, here is just our straight up simple object focus, okay? Paliton, okay, oh, we know it's on. Okay, so I heard on. Oh, okay, we're talking about object focus. All right, cool. So paliton ni Marco. Okay, and we conjugated the pronoun, or I guess in this case the proper noun, right, in the ni, which is a part of the og family of markers, which is also a non-focus. So as long as it's a non-focus, it works. Boom. So we have on conjugated with the non-focus. Okay, that works and it makes sense. Paliton ni Marco. I got that. Oh, okay. Ang mga pagkaon. Okay, this is written in red now, and it's marked in ang. So ang mga pagkaon, ang marks whatever is the main focus now. So this main focus is the food, right? All the food plural actually. So the food plural is our main focus. We're talking about food. Well, what's the relationship with the food? With the verb, oh, Marco was buying it. Marco bought it. Okay, Marco will buy it. Sorry, Marco will buy it. Will buy the food. All right, he'll buy the food for his kids, right? Para sa iyang mga anak. Now, here I wanna say something, because as the word order, the syntax here is flexible. Paliton ni Marco ang mga pagkaon para sa iyahang mga anak. As here is something you should keep in mind, and this is probably something you need to understand. As long as the words are marked correctly by their correct marker, you can move things around in the sentence and it will make sense. For example, I can put all the blacks together, right? Paliton ni Marco para sa iyang mga anak ang mga pagkaon. Okay? Marco, to his kids, will buy the food. Okay? Marco, for his kids, will buy the food. Marco will buy the food for his kids. As long as you have everything marked correctly, you can move your words around and it will still make sense, right? I can even say this. Para sa iyahang mga anak, paliton ni Marco ang pagkaon. Paliton ni Marco para sa iyang mga anak ang mga pagkaon. Ang mga pagkaon, paliton ni Marco para sa iyang anak. Or, ang mga pagkaon, para sa iyang anak, paliton ni Marco. It all makes sense as long as you have the markers. The markers are what's being marked of what's being done. As long as you have those markers marked in the correct place, you can move around the words in the sentence, or the little phrases and words around, as long as they're marked together and grouped together. That's the key thing. Okay, so if there's anything I want you to take, it's that, right? But also note, Cebuano is a verb initial type of language. Remember, it's a verb subject object type of language. So it would make much more conversational flow, a better conversational flow, if you kept the structure of a verb subject object, right? In this case, paliton ni Marco will stay verb subject object. Paliton ni Marco ang mga pagkaon para sa iyang mga anak. In this case, the way it's written right now is perfect as it sounds. But I'm just letting you know, you can move things around as long as they are marked correctly. Like the ang is marking the mga pagkaon, and the on and the ni are marking each other correctly. That's as long as that's with each other, you're good to go. And for the last one, our last circumstantial, remember this was an object, so the object received the attention, right? But here, this is a circumstantial, so there's going to be some sort of transference, right? Think of that, some sort of transference or location. Palitan ni Marco ang iyang anak og pagkaon. Actually, it's just singular this time. So Marco is going to buy food for his child. Okay, palitan ni Marco ang iyang anak og pagkaon. Let's break this down by area. So, palitan is our verb, right? Palitan ni Marco, and palit is ending with an an. We know that an is a circumstantial focus ending, and it needs to be conjugated with the non-focus, right? So here is ni. Okay, is ni a non-focus? Yeah, it's a non-focal marker. It's a part of the og family of markers, and it works together. So it works. It's good to go. Palitan ni Marco. Boom. It's a proper noun that marks Marco, right? And again, og pagkaon, that's fine too. An is, I'm sorry, let's start with the red next. So black is good, let's check out the red. Ang iyang anak. Okay, so his child is now the focus of the sentence. Ang iyang anak. Okay, so something's going on to this child. Something is happening with this child. We don't know what it is yet, but let's check out the green. Because the object, again, it's an object that's happening. Or finally the green. An is circled because an is now telling something is going on with the object, not the object in focus. All right, the object in focus was ang iyang anak, right? And we underlined it in green because something's going on, and an is telling us that something is going on. Oh, okay. So palitan ni Marco ang iyang anak og pagkaon. Oh, okay. So the child now is receiving, right? Something is going to the food is going to the child. So the child is receiving the food. There's the location going to. The child is benefiting with the food, okay? The food is going to the child is benefiting from the action, okay? The child is benefiting from the action by receiving or by getting or by being located food. All right, boom. And as mentioned before with this first sentence, you can move things around as long as they are marked. Palitan ni Marco og pagkaon sa iyang anak, okay? If we break this second sentence down using og pagkaon sa iyang anak, right? Then it's going to be Marco will buy food, right? So palitan ni Marco og pagkaon, Marco will buy food. And since palitan ended with an an and it's a circumstantial, we have to have some sort of transference, so we use sa instead of ang. Okay? Sa iyang anak. That makes sense. That's why we put it sa in green, because this sa is telling us that a transference is going to his child, right? Sa iyang anak. And don't forget, sa and ang share the same meaning of a marker because they both are specific, right? They both express specificity. That specific child is receiving an action, right? This child, ang iyang anak, with ang, we know this anak or iyang anak is receiving a focus. It's the main thing talked about. This sa before iyang anak is indicating that, hey, this specific child is going to receive something. Okay, boom. That's why we have sa there, sa anak, to the child, for the child, with the child, right? And what's going there? What's going to the child? Oh, the food, right here, og pagkaon. I hope this can clarify some stuff. Like, even though you can move stuff around, just keep it verb, subject, object, like down here. Verb, subject, object. All right. So I hope this can clarify a lot of stuff. I know this was a lot. That's why I said pay attention.